With season 15 of SpongeBob wrapped up and it being the show's best season since the Golden Age, life was injected into me as it felt like I was watching the series with the same wonder and excitement I had as a kid. So today, we will be diving into all of the references, callbacks, and nostalgic vibes that this season offers episode by episode. If you want a more detailed rundown and analysis of the season, check out my season 15 review as we go much deeper into the episodes and season as a whole. I also have mini reviews of season 13 and 14, and even season 1 of the Patrick Star Show. And of course, we are reacting to the new episodes here as they come out. So, if you want more SpongeBob content, like, subscribe, join Patreon, become a member, all that marketing. Just know, here is the place for new SpongeBob since we embrace it. Alright, let's jump into all of the classic references I could find from season 15. Not a reference, but do you see this purple sunset setting and landscape? Absolutely breathtaking. Immediately, I might be reaching, but is that the same garbage pickup stick we see in Midlife Crustacean, even SpongeBob meets the Strangler? Yeah, I'm reaching. What isn't reaching is seeing Mr. Squidward on the same bike we see in Club SpongeBob. Wait, but do you see the walls?
The walls will ooze green slime! Oh, wait, they always do that.
While Sammy and SpongeBob are in a musical number, cleaning the bathroom, we see writing that is eerie similar to the dumpster graffiti from the episode Sailor Mouth. We'll come back to this in a bit. Another reach, since I believe this to be an animation style choice for the scene, but I wanted to point out how this reminds me of Franken Doodle. Sammy cleans everything spotless to the point where it looks chrome.
Everything is chrome in the future.
Or perhaps it's simply just spotless like we have seen in Procrastination. You can't have dirty garbage. Not many in this episode, but we see the utilization of Culinary Stadium hosting this food competition, which we have seen in the episode Smoking Peanuts, The Great Snail Race, and other brief cameos later in the series. The fondue vendor is out on the freeway from season 14's Buff for Puff. Those eyes, they look familiar.
Meow.
Mr. Krabs is so shocked by the success of Squidward that he is left frozen. Bro has moved in 40 minutes. This position reminds me of Patty Hype, where he is excited after a customer finally walks in and we see a spider web as he opens his mouth. Squidward is slaying, and while not the same, seems he loves the blonde hair as he once had in the original Fry Cook from season 4. While this doesn't count as an appearance, Squilly and Fancy Son from Band Class can be seen on the latest issue of Rich People magazine. And no, this isn't the same magazine that we see in Chocolate with Nuts, but that would have been a nice touch. Whatever Squidward's doing here, this is definitely giving vibes of him on stage with SpongeBob in Squid Bob tentacle pants.
Forget your wedding. Forget the birth of your first child.
And probably one of the greatest references of the season. Do you remember this scene from the episode Bang Geeks?
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
Well, after Squidward's horrid playing goes noticed by Lady Upturn, she quickly acquires a new headliner that would soon shock the entire cathedral.
Maestro Patrick Star!
What?
23 years later, mayonnaise is in fact an instrument. Now, can we get an encore with horseradish?
Horseradish is not an instrument either.
The only reference or callback I could find was Patrick and SpongeBob in their cosplay from season 10's Mermaid Pants. However, there could potentially be some Squidward's house lore, which at this point we already have Patrick's rock, Plankton's bucket, so might as well add more to the mix. And this episode is all about aliens, which is a bit unusual for the series, but we know when they went to the moon. It is revealed that the reason why SpongeBob has such a happy life is because of his lucky clip. As he walks down the stairs, two references are happening. His shoelaces are tied, like in the episode Your Shoes Untied, and then proceeds to have the same falling pattern as Missing Identity. Bubble Bass and SpongeBob have another showdown. While less epic, SpongeBob concocts an impressive pickle circular peel, and impresses Bubble Bass instead. Is it possible that SpongeBob actually just forgot his tie in the episode Pickles? No. Bubble Bass was gaslighting him, but it is fun to think that the clip potentially recontextualizes the success and failures of SpongeBob and Squidward throughout the entire series. We then have the re-emergence of a Reef Blower. This is not the same one we see in Squidville. It's actually...
I hate this channel.
No! No!
It's actually the very first Reef Blower from the very first episode, Reef Blower. Patrick has another creative watch. Seems he's quite the clock connoisseur. This may be reaching again, but the way Patrick says
No.
is just like how he said it in Home Sweet Pineapple.
No.
Does this pose look familiar? It should, because it's extremely similar to him hearing E minor from Naughty Nautical Neighbors. It's hilarious because the premise here has Patrick wanting to sleep, which he is incapable of doing. Probably should have asked to hear Squidward play the clarinet. Chocolate, aka Baby Prunes, is back in another door-to-door sale episode, just like the classic episode, Chocolate with Nuts. Though, we have seen her a good amount of times before this episode. Someone else who is here, and we have seen quite a bit since their classic debut, Nosferatu from Graveyard Shift. Sandy's Rocket from the episode Sandy's Rocket is here as they go to sell the raving biscuits on Mars. What a fun episode this was, as the usual SpongeBob Mrs. Puff formula gets switched up. Mrs. Puff usually dreads SpongeBob coming to boating school, but this time she needs him as the competing new boating school is making her broke. We see Scooter back in boating school, more of the Mrs. Puff lore as we see ballistic armaments and death threats. If you're not in the loop, throughout the series the show has always implied that she has a dark past.
I'll have to move to a new city, start a new boating school with a new name. No, not again. I've got to end this thing before it begins.
We have seen this more and more in later seasons, specifically in the incredible episode from season 14, Salty Sponge. Seems Mrs. Puff is using the good noodle star from New Student Starfish to manipulate SpongeBob. Gold status star and good noodle star? It has to be a statue of King Neptune. SpongeBob is in the same puddle form from the episode pre-hibernation week. This one may be a reach, but this reminds me of the Halloween special where Patrick uses a part of SpongeBob as a towel. Finally, we see 3 Bikini Bottom residents get their license, excluding Gary. We see Lazy Mary, or the daughter of Baby Prunes, Old Man Walker, not Old Man Jenkins, and the eel's name from Walking Small, Carlos. Much like a later episode we will get to, this one is what I call a nostalgia bomb. Weenie Hut Jr.'s from No Weenies Allowed makes a grand and centered return, which means we'll also hear Weenie endless times.
Weenie? Weenie. 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 Weenie.
Last time we saw Weenie Hut Jr.'s was in the episode Captain Pipsqueak from season 13. We have this background character who was the teenager who took SpongeBob's job in Squid on Strike. Squidward is holding a Kelpie G record. This is an important panel. We see Carlos the eel, who just got his fake license. We saw him with ice cream, mind you, from Walking Small. And we also see the same original nerdy fishes enjoying ice cream. And probably my favorite little mention. What day is it? It's Double Weenie Wednesday. Okay, there isn't any more references for this episode, so we'll just move. Oh my god, it's everywhere! And to finish off, there is a Weenie Hut Seniors now. So I guess they are expanding the brand, or before it explodes. This is definitely a nice ode to the classic episode Mimic Madness from season 7. Patrick in this part of the episode, with both the elevator buttons and the pizza, really feels like the episode Wet Painters with the vending machine and the dollar coming in and out.
We're saved! Patrick!
And now to connect the right wires.
This episode quickly becomes unsettling as Squidward's affirmations become a Bible that the gang treats as the word of a higher power. Major Club SpongeBob energy with the magic conch shell. It's fun to see the inverse of that. And lastly, these disturbing, horrifying faces capture the insanity that Squidward had on Squid's Day Off. Another Squidward-focused episode, this episode is centered around John Dolphin. Does this give anyone else Duke Silver energy? No? Just me? Squidward gets shattered into rocks. This has to be a reference to those rock costumes from Doing Time. Oh, and you could even see this erasing pencil eraser premise as a little ode to the magic pencil from Frankendoodle, but I think that's a stretch. To everyone's surprise, Sandy's helmet cracks while underwater. I feel this has been something I've always questioned, so to finally have that happen nearly 20 years later was kinda cathartic. Maybe this is foreshadowing a future development? Sandy still has the same phone we have seen in Suds. Sandy goes through a similar monotonous montage, just like Squidward did in Squidville. Sandy still has the same cricket from the episode Wormy. Here, we have both a newer reference and a classic one. First, SpongeBob mentions he cannot help Sandy because he's out hunting for another mustard mine for Mr. Krabs, which we see in season 11. And then we see something intriguing. So this is not the gorilla from I Had an Accident, but this does add to SpongeBob crossing paths with another gorilla. At the end of the episode, we see Sandy's tree dome is a rehydration center / Krusty Krab hybrid. The octopus family from Sailor Mouth is here. A fish is wearing a pickle jar, just like Sandy did in the episode Pressure. The tan eel looks like the one we have seen from Your Shoes Untied. And look at SpongeBob! He got mauled by the gorilla! He's in a full bodysuit. But I do wonder how he encountered yet another gorilla underwater. This episode gives a lot of that Gary takes a bath energy.
That.
Snail Po from Lost Identity is back. Wait, is that in his cup?
Why did you eat snail po?
And we see he has the classic title doodle on his gravestone. Gary cutely hits SpongeBob, and it makes the same sound effect as Flats' punches from Bully. Gary has those sharp and dangerous teeth from the season 6 episode, Grooming Gary. Much like the roof, the wedge, SpongeBob is stuck, and that's the entire episode. We see he still has the same exact stuffed animal weights from Muscle Bob Buff Pants. And the I Heart Pain banner, Squidward calls the police as SpongeBob's attempt for help gets intercepted, as the police sexily slides down. Wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, in the background we see some very important posters. On the right, we see Dennis from the SpongeBob movie. And towards the very end of the left, we see none other than the Strangler. Seems he is still littering and getting away. The fish head narrator is here as a radio broadcaster. As people enter SpongeBob's house, we find many awesome underutilized background fish. We see the same pirate that sold Squidward the pie from Dying for Pie, the captain, the smaller fish, and then many other background fish from No Wieners Allowed, the Without Any Milk fish. One of the finback fish who was in line, and the fish with the headband was the same one that was in that scrap in that same episode. And I'm unsure if this is Reg, as he doesn't have his tattoo, so perhaps it's just another fish of the same species. Oh, and a small and quick detail that you'll miss, but Wally C is still living within SpongeBob's house, which is from season 13's Walhalla. A pretty pivotal episode, but before we get into why, here's Squidward's nightgown that we see in Sandy's Rocket. Okay, so for the big reveal. Well, big if you haven't seen season 14 episode Mamageddon.
Are you finished now, Dad?
We get the proper introduction of Squidward's dad, and look at their first interaction.
Bring it in, son.
You see? SpongeBob lied.
Squidward's father never hugged him.
While not a callback, SpongeBob and Patrick acknowledging Squidward's dad still feels so bizarre. Patrick had the same classic timing, like when he says,
Sandy's a girl? I thought Mr. Krabs was your dad!
This next one I'll play and see if you notice it. Did you see it? If not, let's go frame by frame. Okay, there! They literally reference the iconic panel of Squidward watching over them from the episode That Sinking Feeling from Season 7. Squidward still has that alarm clock from Employee of the Month. We see many gags that resemble the pranks used in Season 3's Pranks-A-Lot, and Jeffy T even references the episode title.
Hey, Pranks-A-Lot!
We see pranks like the invisible spray with the squid ink, the exploding chewing gum with the bombsicles.
I don't get it.
It's Mr. Krabs. Oh no, it's just a rubber version of very old Season 1 key art, which is also used in astrology with Squidward shorts. We get the background music of the laughter belt Man Ray had on in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3. The more utilized sea bear comes out from Squidward's prank box and flips his sombrero upside down to initiate one of his many summoning conditions, as we know from the iconic episode, the camping episode. Oh god, I have to go back to this episode. Luckily, there aren't many references. Even if the formula is still a mystery, it's nice to see any type of secret formula showcases with these ingredients A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. The Flying Dutchman apparently has its own type of peppers, which is cool. Kelpie G is back on the cover. Mr. Krabs is still bathing in money. Patrick has those gap goofy teeth like we have seen in Shanghai. And finally, Patrick enters a chum eating contest alongside the Ice Cream King from Season 10's Patrick's Coupon and the Hillbilly Fish from Chocolate with Nuts.
I'll take 20!
We see firefighters here, and this might just foreshadow a future episode? And am I crazy, or is that the same robot from the scary movie in Season 3, Crabborg? We enter an alley with many of the previous news anchors that have been shown throughout the series as burnouts and looking for work. It seems the robots have taken over the world.
Our world!
Gene Scallop and all of the reporters from the Krusty Sponge in Season 5, Gail Doppler from Season 12 Stormy Weather, and the announcer fish from Ripped Pants. Bubble Bass drops pickles, which continues that running joke. Brett says,
My pickle!
The same back panel for this transition card is used for the episode title card of Squirrel Jokes. The Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episode transition also makes a unique appearance here. And for our world building fans, apparently there is a bridge to Shell City, but it is broke. Mary the Snail from Season 7 Gary in Love is here, and it is not Snelly from the Great Snail Race. Gary is in a very familiar situation. He's stuck on top of a tree, like in Gary Takes a Bath. Larry the Lobster is of course a fireman when he's not the lifeguard, as well as Old Man Walker anchoring the department. SpongeBob gets shanghaied as he sees infinity when he goes down a pole. We also see the Random Land Man here from Season 10. I'm reaching on these next two, but this outfit reminds me of Marge from I'm With Stupid. And is it the same flame from Procrastination? It's not, but I find this first fire spark lore interesting. Do you remember when Patrick says,
Well, that was a ripoff.
well, he says it again here.
Well, that was a ripoff.
But with all this fire department and first fires, this entire episode has me wondering.
Hey, if we're underwater, how could there be a...
Whales! We finally get more inclusion of whales. I don't know why I'm so excited. It seems only Pearl and background characters are the only whales we encounter, so it's great to finally see a dedicated episode for them. Looks like the news anchor quickly got a job. Great to see such fast continuity and results from smart artificial intelligence. Okay, so this next one, I might go a little Charlie, but bear with me. So we see Plankton's board of friends and enemies. Spot, Karen as it should be. Then his enemies, Patrick, SpongeBob, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and even Old Man Walker, which might be a reference to Season 14's episode, Hysterical History. If you know, you know. But check this out. So the writing used here on Mr. Krabs and Squidward looks eerily familiar. This handwriting is also seen in the first episode of Season 15, Sammy Suckerfish. But you know where everyone and their mother has seen this? In Sailor Mouth, the dumpster writing. Doesn't this look 1-to-1? Which means Plankton was the one who said Mr. Krabs was a... This has probably been uncovered a while ago, but I love how this evidence can give clarity that is pretty layered in its inclusion after so many years. Or maybe I'm reaching. This next one, I'll let myself show it in real time.
But it's only because he's cute. The pretty Squilliam! Squilliam!
That is right, folks. Squilliam Fancy Son finally makes a brief cameo and is included in modern SpongeBob. He hasn't had a standalone episode or voice lines since Season 6 House Fancy and Season 7 I Heart Dancing. But if you stopped watching before that, then that means his last appearance was in Squilliam Returns. But the real question is, why is Squilliam shopping at Bargain Mart? SpongeBob has a black eye just like he did when he confronted the vicious and infamous Jack M. Crazy Fish from Season 5's Blackened Sponge. And capping off this episode, we find out the main ingredient for Baleen baby food.
4 heaping pounds of freshly ground.
We see the well-known Bold and Brash, which gets ignored once again, and it's handsome Squidward. Those SpongeBob canvases reminds me of the merchandise we see in Season 5's Krusty Sponge. Now from here on out, you'll see so many paintings, so I'm probably going to miss many other potential references. With that warning, let's see this. So some pretty fun callbacks, like SpongeBob jellyfishing, the legendary Bang Geeks appreciation, and the close-up of SpongeBob's iconic "You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?" The title screen drawing, karate. But then there's some disturbing and fixating pieces that really show how engrossed Squidward is. His butt crack, the mouth, his teeth, close-up of his holes, and even a candid photo of him being naughty. Was this the same embarrassing snapshot of SpongeBob at the Christmas party? No, it was not. Or maybe it's these photos. Okay, no, let's not go there. The Krusty Krab has another commercial. Is it better than the one we hold true to our hearts from As Seen on TV? The League of Evil has returned. We know Man Ray and the Dirty Bubble, but we actually get introduced to some new members. Jumbo Shrimp, who was last seen in Season 7, the Bad Guy Club for Villains, and Season 2, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. Submarinera makes their debut, and the newest member, Helen the Felon, who has brief appearances in later seasons and even in the Patrick Star Show. And we see the Tremendous Trunk, who is a new hero that helps SpongeBob at the end of the episode. And it's great to see SpongeBob's comic book has them all together as he ventures through to get both their autographs and deliver the food. This reference might be one of the best and long-awaited callbacks. From the very first episode, Help Wanted, the hydrodynamic spatula makes its first appearance 26 years later, and we get the return of this unused part of history. This was special and satisfying. A bit of a newer reference as the Clean Bubble, which is the Dirty Bubble's reformed version from Season 12, the Dirty Bubble Returns, seems to have his own product. This next sequence is marvelous as SpongeBob accidentally points his pen and pops Dirty Bubble just like he did in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 2. Then SpongeBob immediately follows this up with the same mop and cleaning routine he had in Culture Shock. SpongeBob uses the hydrodynamic spatula with port and starboard attachments to fight Submarinera. This next and final one has to be one of my favorite callbacks and is legit the reason I made this video. I'll once again let my past self showcase the reference.
The League of Evil is actually broke.
Turns
Is it Patrick's wallet? Oh my god!
That's right, Man Ray is still using the wallet from Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3. And it has Patrick's picture. The box of wallets? Just incredible attention to detail and extremely niche. We see Mr. Krabs' shell again, just like in Shell of a Man. We see Pearl's high school, which is where her prom took place in the episode Chaperon. We don't see it used often, so I just wanted to point out the world building a little bit. Oh, and those two weenies are here. And the Shark Gang from Shark vs. Pods battle Pearl and her friends. We haven't seen them since Season 9. Surprisingly, I could only find one reference here. SpongeBob goes back into Mr. Krabs' shell form for the play, which is a nice callback to Shell of a Man. But considering what the next episode is, the lack of references and callbacks might be worth it.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Da, 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 da. Di, da, di, li, da, di, li, da, di, li, da, di, li, da, di, da, di, di, da.
I highly advise anyone who has not seen this episode to please go watch it. Or watch Season 15 and then come back. But I truly want you guys to experience this if you haven't. Okay, that was your last warning. Oh, dear Neptune. This entire episode is basically a callback. One could even make an entire video on just this episode alone. So because there's an insane amount, I'm simply going to point out the ones that stand out and ones I think are the most important. The ambience from the get-go establishes Season 1 animation and quaintness. The paper is back from the paper. This frame right here looks exactly like it came out from Season 2. Sandy says,
"Square dude!"
just like in their first encounter.
Hold on there, little square dude!
Sandy gains the lungs instead of getting them snapped off like in pressure. Look at Patrick being so derpy in Season 1, that smile! The jellyfish color panels are used in the sweet montage as Sandy experiences the sea, aquatic life. She touches the plants, smells the flowers. Karali without her helmet, so now she actually gets hurt?
Oh yeah? Watch this! Ah!
At first, I thought this was the exercise he did in Muscle Bob Buff Pants, but they actually have the same derpy face as T in the Tree Dome. Sandy blows bubbles at the bubble stand, just like Squidward did in the episode Bubble Stand. And of course, SpongeBob shows her the technique, and she feels the jellyfish sting her. These excited hands and eyes reminds me of the free balloon Patrick and SpongeBob stole from Life of Crime. Once again, I might be reaching here, but the way that SpongeBob has Sandy's fur on his face, it reminds me of the fur he took from her on Survival of the Idiots. And the way they go down this cliff, it looks so familiar to me, but I, for the life of me, can't remember. Let me know down below, please. Sandy's skin, or fur, it completely comes off, and it gives me creepy vibes. Just like the same ones from Someone's in the Kitchen with Sandy from Season 7. As they get food from a vendor, I'm pretty sure that's the same grill master we see in Ripped Pants. Also, their fish faces look like the impression SpongeBob had of fish in Squirrel Jokes. The hooks! The hooks!
How about a mint?
The hooks from Hooky are back, and it seems it's a rite of passage for all fish to experience. Her eyes and stares are all the same, so of course Sandy must be entranced like SpongeBob was. This crying face he does for Sandy as she goes up to the surface is similar to him crying about being fired in Karate Choppers from Season 1. And is it just me, or does SpongeBob just have a One Piece reference? Sandy turns into a sea bear-like monster as her fish form goes berserk. And finally, Gary is sleeping on the same exact fence and is singing the same song as he did on I Was a Teenage Gary.
You clam up!
Man, what an episode. Two macho fish on the cruise ship that Mr. Krabs and Plankton are on. The one on the left we have seen trying to get into the salty spittoon, and the other one we have seen in Shanghai when they are scoping out fish to scare and in Krabby Land. Another wanted poster, and this is surprising because this is one of Mr. Krabs' former Navy mates, Iron Eye, from the episode Shell of a Man. Maybe Bikini Bottom is in danger with the Strangler, Dennis, and Iron Eye out and about.
Here we go.
Hey, he's back! And it's a shrimp! Oh, and in the background we see the DJ from the SpongeBob movie. The final piece of Season 15, and it introduces Captain Quasar and Patron from the Patrick Star Show. It throws them into the mix, though we did see that Patron joke this season in Smart Artificial Intelligence, and Patron has been introduced in the title zone. Seeing Captain Quasar and Patron old and wrinkly does confirm that the Patrick Star Show is definitely a prequel to SpongeBob for those who aren't in the loop. Here we see Bubble Bass, Kevin, and Harvey. Harvey was in Camp Coral, and also made his debut in SpongeBob in Season 14's Creepaway Camp. We also see the Flying Dutchman as a poster. Reminds me of the origin story of the Flying Dutchman from Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost. Mary the Snail, not Snelly, is here again. And while the new generation Captain Quasar and Patron are signing autographs, we see the Quickster's boots hanging at the top, as we seen in Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 5. And Patrick's time machine from the Patrick Star Show is alive and well.
Your time closet. It gives you access to all of time and space.
Will we ever use its development now that the Patrick Star Show is canon in the series? And finally, to end off, this episode comments on fandoms with how they handle the everlasting argument of original versus newer series content.
Original Quasar, yay! Reboot Quasar, nay.
Old SpongeBob, new SpongeBob? Very on the nose and meta for SpongeBob these days, and an incredible fitting way to end Season 15. And that is every single SpongeBob reference my SpongeBob brain could find. Sorry to break the immersion, but I just kind of wanted to come on here, reflect a little bit on this Odyssey. Not really Odyssey. It was just about a week, 2 weeks, really months of just gathering all the information, script writing. This is the first video I've made that's really like content. That's not just reaction or the mini reviews where we cut up stuff. This was all just weeks worth of going to the gym, coming back home, editing, going to the gym, editing. It was just like my life. I really haven't worked on something this hard ever since maybe my music, my albums and stuff. So it's very challenging, but satisfying to see the end product of it. And yeah, it probably could have been better. The references maybe were reaches or not even references at all. This video was basically me just saying, this reminds me of that SpongeBob episode where... But I apologize if I got anything wrong or anything was misinformed. I was just really having so much fun gathering all the information, seeing and feeling the vibes of the new season and the old season. And I just really wanted to combine the two worlds together again, because I do notice that a lot of the references, a lot of the characters, the little fun details are spread throughout the season, throughout the new SpongeBob. And yeah, I do think I probably mentioned certain characters that at first I was like, oh my god, they've returned. But no, they've been back since like season 13, 12, 11. But again, this is just my first time at this, so just wanted to sort of celebrate season 15, be a part of the community as well, because this is my first time being really active and with the series again. Again, ever since I was a kid. So it's a special season for sure. And it would be cool if everyone just appreciated what the season is now and what the series is now, rather than what it was, or to just talk it down. I feel it just demeans what the series and what the creators are doing right now. So let's just embrace new SpongeBob. Simple as that. And yeah, this is the last time I'm recording for season 15. All the reactions are out, the review was out. Now we're gonna have this behemoth of a reference video. So again, I just really think this season, it really healed some inner child stuff in me, or it made me have that same giddiness. And yeah, the pressure to kind of get this all out before season 16 starts, it kind of got to me a little bit. But right here at the finish line, it's all good now. So if you guys want more type of these videos, the type of analysis or more references, more of their SpongeBob reactions, I'm doing them regardless. Patrick Star Show, Camp Court, whatever it is with SpongeBob related, let me know down below. Comment, subscribe. This is one of my favorite things of all time. If not, it's my favorite thing of all time. So if you guys want more of it, I will gladly give you more. I have a lot of ideas in my head too. So if this does well, then I 100% am on board for more SpongeBob, with not just being the reactions. But that is where we will be the next time we see each other. We'll be diving into season 16 of SpongeBob SquarePants. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy the callbacks, the references, the nostalgia, yet the newness, the freshness of SpongeBob. Alright guys, next time we see each other will be for season 16. So, I will see you there.
And